Hey everybody, Paul Mack here. I just wanted to show you what I got at the auction. And it looks like I've got a couple of electric knives here. They don't look like they're really brand new. It looks like they're about 20 or 25 years old, but I imagine they still work. This one has the blade right there in it. Looks like I've got an extra blade in the box here. It says, somebody wrote on the box here, sharp, use this one, which probably means this one is not as sharp, I guess. But oh well, I've got an extra blade, so maybe they took care of that. And also there's a flashlight that actually still works. Can't believe the battery's still good. These electric saws are meat saws. They're for, I guess we had one when I was growing up, and we would, I don't know how these go in there. Just like that. Two blades side by side, and they're real handy for cutting up the Christmas ham or the Thanksgiving turkey. But also another very handy use for them is cleaning fish. You can fillet catfish or crappie or bass very easily with these electric knives. Of course, they make them now with battery operated. But, you know, if you got electricity within 3 or 4 feet of you, these do in a pinch. And looky here, this has literally almost nothing to do with the farm. It is an electric donut bites maker. I don't know why I got this. I just sounded good at the time. So you can fry up half a dozen donuts, little bitty donuts. I just wanted it. Oh, this was a find. Looky here. You're saying a toolbox, a metal toolbox? Oh no, so much more. It is the old style tackle box. Look here, metal on the outside, plastic on the inside. This one is really, really nice. I like these old boxes, especially the ones that are metal. Just durable. It does have a plastic handle. We can overlook that. It looks like it needs a little super gluing right here, which I can take care of. Oop, just broke something. Well, we'll fix that too. Anyway, the old tackle box. I like having lots of room to put my different size hooks and weights and all kinds of paraphernalia when I go on one of my famous catfishing or bluegill runs. So anyway, an old vintage tackle box. How exciting. This video is sponsored by me. My family and I have a little store in Catagap, Arkansas called Gap Mercantile. It's an old-fashioned store. The building was built in 1932, and we've got a lot of things in it that you are going to want to see. We've got antiques like old tools, quilts, hand-stitched quilts, a lot of them, jelly, jam, soda pop, t-shirts, candy. You would not believe the retro candy, things you haven't seen in years. Remember the old Neapolitan coconut bars? We've got them. And also, just lots of souvenirs, and you know what? There's a lot of things hanging in the store. Some of my props and other things that you've seen on the show are actually there in the store for you to look at. So, come on by Gap Mercantile, go to my website, Farm Hands Companion, drill down, find the Gap Mercantile page somewhere on there. If you look hard enough, you'll find it. Read all about Gap Mercantile and come visit us next time you're in the area. We also have a vacation rental in the back. You're going to want to look at Airbnb or VRBO and look for Mercantile Cottage. But just go to my website, farmhandscompanion.com, find Gap Mercantile, and then see about Mercantile Cottage. You're going to love reading about it, and you're going to love staying there. So come see us. Here's something I'm really, really excited about, and it is a box of old fishing reels. Zebcos. I've got some Zebco 33s, but I have a lot of what's called bait caster reels. Before the old spin caster reels were invented at about late 50s, somewhere in there, mid 50s, what you had a lot of were these bait caster reels. And one of my favorite brands is the Pflueger, P-F-L-U-E-G-E-R. That was a company that began by making fish hooks And then at some point they got into making the old-fashioned reels here. Now a lot of people get frustrated with using these kind of reels because they're used to the simple spin cast reels that we have nowadays. It does take some skill to be able to set these properly, but because you have to adjust the tension to the weight of the lure that you're using. Maybe we'll get into that sometime. We'll show how to use these. Maybe we'll go fishing. Maybe would you like to go catfishing with me? Maybe sometime. Probably need to get a GoPro, like everybody else. I love these things. I love. They're also called knuckle busters because a lot of times there is no anti-reverse on them. And if you're like me, and I have caught some sizable. I wouldn't say huge monsters, but when you get a heavy one on and he's really fighting, sometimes you have to kind of let him have some line, and this thing goes to spinning there because a lot of them don't have the free spin option on them. So you got to watch that, but they are so much fun to use. And when you finally get to where you can put the bait where you want it with an old bait caster reel, now that's skill. It's almost, to me, it's the equivalent of making your own bow and arrow and then going and killing a deer. Using one of these to catch an eating size catfish, there is no. Well, there's probably some greater thrills in the world, but that's a big one. That's a real big one. So anyway, I got several old bait caster reels. I think all of these are Pfluegers that I'm going to fix up and oil up and maintain and put some new line on. And this is an interesting little reel. It's called the Goodall, and it's basically, it goes on the rod like this, like that, and it winds from this way. The line goes in this. It's an odd little thing. There weren't many of these made, I don't think, but here's one here that we'll get going. And then of course we've got a couple of old Zebcos. This one is an old Zebco 33. It's probably got steel bearings in it, which are good. They're not plastic like they are today, at least back then. This one's probably 69, 70, somewhere in there, because it's got the flat black plastic handle there. But this one I was particularly proud of because this one's kind of a hard find, and it seems to still be working. I need to put some new line in it, go in it, lube it up and oil it up, clean it up really good. But this is the original Zebco 33, probably made in 57, 58, maybe 59, somewhere in there. They had a black cover and a black back and a metal button there, and round handles. That one's bent, needs a little fixing there. But back then, the Zebco company, actually, these were lifetime reels. If you bought one of the Zebco 33s back in the day, chances are if you took care of it, as long as you didn't run over it with your truck or tractor or lose it in the river, this reel was going to last you your lifetime. And the Zebco company knew it, and that's why they had a guarantee. If something happened to this or it got to where it didn't work for some reason, you send it back, they would send you a new one or at least replacement parts free. That's how much they believed in their products back then. This black model, this is the model that came out that did not have anti-reverse on it. These are a lot of fun for catching brim, even still today. This is what I prefer. But I was told that this black model is what almost bankrupted Zebco because there was a problem with these covers staying on well, and people would lose them or damage them, and everybody had to replace just almost every black cover they could find. And at some point they started making the stainless steel covers, and so when you would send this one in, they would send you the steel cover back because this was an improved cover that didn't slip off as easy as this one. And that's why sometimes you'll find an old Zebco that's got the steel, the stainless steel ring and the stainless steel covers. That means it was sent back and the warranty was honored and it was replaced. So that's why I'm so proud to find one that is all original with the black cover, the black back, the metal button. It's just a wonderful thing. The old, probably circa 1957 Zebco 33. Doesn't get any better than that. You've got all these reels, but don't you need a rod to go with them? I'm glad you mentioned that. Yes, you do. And I just so happen to have bought a rather substantial collection of old rods. Look at this, look at this. These are so cool. Look at these. They've got the cork handles. One or two of them in my collection have wood handles, which that probably, I'm guessing that goes back to the 20s. Now these, what's unusual about these are not fiberglass rods. These are steel rods. That's the way they made them up until, I'm thinking about the 50s, somewhere in there, when they started coming out with fiberglass rods, which were cheaper and easier to manufacture and held up pretty well because, you know, people still use them. I still have fiberglass rods that I use. But I just love these old metal rods. They tend to be a lot shorter, maybe about 5 foot. Some of them are 4 foot range there. And I like matching these old baitcaster vintage reels with these old vintage rods. Some of these reels are from the 30s, maybe, I don't know about 20s, 30s, 40s, and then some of these rods are from the maybe 20s, the 30s, and the 40s, maybe into the 50s, because these were more expensive to manufacture, a steel rod, but man, they are practically indestructible. Every once in a while you might have to replace an eye on it. Some of these need the eyes replaced or whatever, which I'm probably going to do. But I enjoy matching the old baitcaster reels with these old rods, and then not necessarily hanging them on the wall to admire, but actually going back out to the lake or to the river and catching some nice eating sized catfish with these things. There's just no greater thrill than this, what I call vintage fishing. I wish you could go with me. It's just so much fun. Let me show you some of these. This one is a True Temper. You've heard of True Temper. They made all kinds of handy hardware and tools, and so hammers and axes and so forth. This one might be a True Temper, I'm not really sure. But if you'll notice, some of these steel rods are round stock, and then some of them, I don't know if you can see that, but some of these are square stock, square rods. But I just love these things, just so much fun. I like the trigger style handle is what I prefer. I don't like the modern rods. They just don't appeal to me. I just like the feel of this and the look of these, and they're so hardy. And you know, when the cork starts to wear, if it wears off or rats eat it or whatever, you could put a little wood filler on there and sand it down, smooth it down, keep going. You could, if it's totally gone, you know, take the screw off, and in some instances buy new cork and maybe turn it on a lathe. I haven't tried that. I don't know if that would work. It'd probably work. Turn it down and make you a new handle. They still sell, I think on Amazon, you can still get cork stock for repairing these old rods. So, and some of mine need it, so I'll probably end up doing that at some point. But anyway, these old rods are just really, really wonderful. The Donut Bites is a fun machine for trying new recipe combinations. Get the whole family involved. Recipes. As an extra bonus, these are also fat-free and cholesterol-free. Oh no, we don't. Cholesterol-free? No, we don't want that. Health-wise donuts. Nope, don't want that. Chocolate chip donuts. Now we're talking. Nutty maple donuts. That'd be all right. Peanut butter and honey donuts. Maybe. Yogurt and blueberry donuts. Oh, yeah, possibly. Granola yogurt donut. Oh, now we're getting a little nutty there. Getting a little crazy on that one. Banana donuts, lemon poppy seed donuts, orange donuts, pumpkin donuts. Oh, fancy. Spicy apple donut. Isn't there just a plain sugary donut?